Our troops are back, of course, to talk about some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Doing a follow-up to yesterday's video where we talked about my two least favorite things in the game. Initially, that wasn't the plan with the video, but we talked quite extensively about the Shinra Manor, and it kind of became its own thing for the video. And the follow-up that we're doing is actually about the Shinra Manor itself and how they could have really fixed the secret basement elevator shit. So with yesterday's video, a lot of people, voiced their thoughts and opinions on like their least favorite things about the game, but a decent amount of people agreed with the Forgotten Capital shit, but also the Shinra Manor a lot. A lot of people didn't like the Shinra Manor apparently in Rebirth, so it's good to see that I'm not alone on that. What I'm talking about today is something I noticed yesterday while making the video. When I was talking about the Shinra Manor segment, talking about the elevator, I played a little bit of gameplay, and something I noticed that I'd never noticed before until yesterday's video is that right in front of the elevator, there's actually a pretty big picture frame. It's not really a picture, leaning up against the wall. My initial thought with that when I first seen it was, maybe that's there for a reason. Maybe that's there implying that it used to cover the elevator, which means the elevator's hidden, which explains why people didn't know about the hidden basement. But it's like, why else is that there, right? Because it's something they had to make. It's an asset, right? Now, maybe it's like a copy and paste kind of asset, but they put it there, I feel like intentionally in front of the elevator. But when you really look at it, it doesn't make sense to be covering the elevator. The main reason being the frame that goes around the elevator comes out from the wall like a foot. So you obviously just couldn't hang a painting there and be like, there's nothing suspicious going on. It would be very obvious that there's something behind that, right? Kind of in defense of the elevator, something I've been thinking about the last day or so, been thinking about it too damn much. It's possible that the elevator goes up. Because obviously the Shinra Manor is a multi-story building. It's at least 2 floors. If you look at it from the outside, there's potentially at least an attic, maybe a 3rd floor. But maybe it's possible that the people in Nibelheim are aware of the elevator because it's not even remotely hidden, but maybe they just didn't know that it went down, that there was a basement, which makes sense for what Cloud and Tifa are saying during like the flashback at the beginning. Maybe they only knew that it went up to the 2nd floor, potentially 3rd floor if there is one. That's part of the problem with not having a 2nd floor that's accessible. We can't confirm that, right? That's just me trying to make sense of the shit, because if we had a 2nd floor, we could walk up there and see where maybe the elevator went to, if it even goes to the 2nd floor at all. But also to kind of jump back to where it doesn't make any sense, like Cloud doesn't do anything special in the flashback or when we're there in present day to go down to the basement. We just push the button, elevator opens up, we get in there, it goes down. So it's like, even if it does go up, there's not like some hidden button or some shit that you got to press to go to the basement. It seems like it's pretty easy to get to the basement, which then goes back to not making any goddamn sense why other people didn't know it existed. Kind of get back to the focus of the video here, kind of how they could have made it make sense, kind of fix it if you want to call it that, is with the painting or the picture frame that we see in front of the elevator, but just remove the goddamn obnoxious frame that's around the elevator. Why is that there? Why is there this like foot-long frame that goes around the elevator? It's just kind of obnoxious. If you get rid of that, simply get rid of that and the light that's in the corner, you could at least come up with like the headcanon that that frame was there covering the elevator, and that's why people didn't know that the basement existed. Otherwise, it just doesn't really make any sense, and I feel like that's why the frame's there, but with the way that the elevator is in Rebirth, it doesn't make sense that it'd be covering the elevator, or that it's some secret elevator people wouldn't know about. For one, you have a goddamn light-up, like, touchpad thing to activate the damn shit, but then you have, like, the ominous red light, much like this one right here, that indicates that there's some shit going on. If we do a bit of a side-by-side here with Cloud next to the picture frame and next to the elevator, you can see that even the picture frame on its side is taller than Cloud, so if you were to turn it like 90 degrees like it's probably supposed to be, it'd be as tall as the elevator or taller, and then it's also as wide as the elevator, at least, maybe even a little bit wider. And the reason I'm putting so much emphasis on the picture frame is because there's not a ton of locations that it could go, like hanging on the wall. There's some other big pictures around the Shinra Manor here and there, downstairs and upstairs, but when you look around, like there's just not a ton of places it could go. And the other thing that kind of hurts the idea of it potentially covering the elevator is that there's no picture in the damn thing, obviously. Which, now that we're talking about it, makes you wonder why it's even there at all. Like, they reuse pictures within the Shinra Manor. There's, like, downstairs, there's a picture of, like, Hojo and Lucrezia, and there's a bigger picture of that upstairs. And they maybe even use other pictures somewhere else, too. But there's at least one instance of them reusing a picture. So you can literally just copy and paste the picture. I'm over here. The game's pulled up over here, so I keep looking off screen. Like, you could have just put any other picture there. So it makes you wonder why it's even there at all. Like, they intentionally made, like, a picture frame asset. And then maybe there's other empty picture frames around the Shinra Manor. I guess I haven't really paid attention to that. But it's like, why is it there? Like, it's so confusing to me now. It's pissing me off. Speaking of pissing me off, the more I've looked around the Shinra Manor, like, for this video specifically, the more I fucking hate it, I think. Because we're talking about the elevator, obviously, with the video. So it's obviously when you walk in the front door of the Shinra Manor, that's off to your left. So I went up like the stairwell that's kind of there in the main hall to kind of look over there into like the 2nd floor back in the left. And there's like a hallway that goes that way, right? So that potentially there's the 2nd floor, there's a hallway, some rooms back there, maybe it leads to the elevator, maybe that's where the elevator goes, whatever. But looking around on the right side of the building, there's nothing. And why that pisses me off is because that's obviously not what the Shinra Manor was, at least with the original game. I can't remember Crisis Core's layout off the top of my head. But with the original game, of course, when you walk in, like there's rooms off to your left, to your right. You go upstairs, there's rooms off to your left, to your right. And they just completely got rid of like the whole right side of the building, because like the front door is like right here in the Shinra Manor, and then there's like a little bit to the right, and then it like cuts off, and there's like a kind of a smaller building in the back, which I'll have pictures of this whenever I'm editing. When you walk in, there's none of that. You can't access that far right building. There is kind of like the door that's kind of boarded up and chained up and shit right below the stairwell in the main hall. And maybe if you could access it, it would take you down like a little hallway. You could cut right and get to that corner building. But the problem is when you look at the Shinra building from the front, I keep calling it Shinra building while I'm editing. God damn it, I mean Shinra Manor. You know what I mean? There's like a second floor window on the right. When you're looking at it, like the front door. I know I'm like going too much into this, but bear with me here. There's no way to access that window when you go inside the building. If you go inside the main hall, turn around, look up, there's like the second floor, but there's no doorway or hallway in the second floor to the right. There's nothing. There's no hallway like there is on the left side of the second floor. There's not even like a door upstairs on the second floor to indicate that you could even access the second floor right side of the building. You could maybe say that there's like a hidden room up there or something. Maybe there's like secret shit behind the paintings upstairs. Maybe. But there's windows on the front of the building that indicate that there's rooms on the second floor. So they wouldn't be very hidden. It just seems so lazily designed. It is pissing me off the more I talk about it. Speaking of which, come back to this picture right here. If you look above the front door, there's this kind of small balcony, but also like a window there. But obviously, if you go inside the Shinra Manor, turn around and look up, like where would this even be at? There's like nothing here to like indicate that there would even be a window or a balcony. It's like this weird boxed thing above the front door. I don't even know what this is. There's no way to even access this either. I think the more that I've looked at this location yesterday and today, kind of breaking it down and trying to talk about specific aspects of it, I think it might be my least favorite thing now in the game. It's not the Forgotten Capital. I'm glad we talked about it yesterday, and then I want to talk about it more today, because I think I've came to that realization now. And it's not like Rebirth is the first game to ever have like a building that like the inside doesn't match the outside or whatever. But this is like maybe the most iconic location in some ways in the entire FF7 compilation, right? Because of how important the location is, how iconic the location is. And like you can't be bothered to put like a second hallway on the top right floor. Like you can't throw a door over there just to indicate that maybe you could access it, even if we don't ever get to ourselves. You can't even like just copy and paste the fucking asset of the top left of the fucking building. Just copy and paste that fucking hallway on the right side. You can't even be bothered to do that. Like it's so frustrating when I think about it. Does anything that I'm talking about right now matter at all? Fuck no, it doesn't. But god damn it if it doesn't piss me off. This video was something else entirely when I first started it, which happens a lot on the channel. Literally happened yesterday with our video. But I'm glad that I kind of looked more into the Shinra Manor, because it makes me like understand how much I don't like that location and how like kind of terribly designed it is, man. And it's just kind of frustrating. Like there's so much of the remake project that feels so damn good and like so much good attention to detail and fan service and shit. And it's just like I don't understand why they went this route with the Shinra Manor. It's something I want to talk about yesterday actually, that we talked about the potential of there maybe being a Vincent DLC at some point, and maybe if that does happen, that would get us more of like the Shinra Manor. Maybe like in Vincent's DLC, we can actually explore the whole location. But again, there's not even like a fucking top right floor according to the inside layout of the building. So I guess it wouldn't even matter at this point. It sucks having these iconic locations that we're looking forward to, like the Shinra Manor. Like so many people got to that location and were just underwhelmed by it because they just didn't give us kind of anything like we were expecting it to be. And then also like the Forgotten Capital like we talked about yesterday. Like we got there, we're looking forward to the location. We knew the game was ending there, and we get there, we don't even really get to experience it like at all. I hope it's something that's different in the third game. I hope that like whatever we're getting to in the third game, the locations that we haven't gone to yet, the locations that we're going to revisit, we can like, they're not holding back at all. I want to like kind of experience them like it is as a kid, man. Like as a kid on PS1, I got to explore the Shinra Manor, and here we are in the current year, modern day, 4K graphics, PS5, and I can't even walk around the fucking Shinra Manor. What does that mean? Anyways, that's the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. There's links in the description below. Follow me on Twitter, @DavidYT. That's it. Bye.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Logain, or leave it like Cobain.